Hello, my friends. Betty McKnit here. I always call myself your crochet mama when I'm on TikTok because I feel like I'm the oldest person on TikTok. And I also feel like I give people the tough love with the blankets and stuff all the time and working on. I treat my Facebook group for my blanket like a college course. People have to ask questions a certain way. They have to read the frequently asked questions guide. They can't just come in and be like, I don't get it. Like they have to ask good questions. I'm pretty hardcore that way. I actually was a college instructor for, I was an adjunct professor, so I guess I could call myself a professor for a time. And it was a job I really loved. Um, I think I'm a pretty bossy person, and I like being the one with all the answers. It's just kind of who I am. So today I'm going to be working on this 6-day Ridgy Didge blanket. It's a little more than halfway done. This is my 17th video working on it. I think a couple of those early days I had multiple videos in one day, so I'm not saying it's the 17th day. I think I started counting the days. It's been so long I don't really even remember. I started counting the days when I actually started the blanket. So I didn't count the swatching and the preparation or any of that. So this was day 1. And I only keep track of this because people like to know. How much do you do on day 1, day 2, day 3, and how long did it really take? Because the name of the blanket is the 6-day blanket, which doesn't necessarily mean that you will complete it in 6 days or that it can be completed in 6 days, but that's another story. So let's just talk about where I'm at. This was day 1. I did this, started it up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I've actually worked on it for 11 days. So today I'll be double the correct amount of time, which is 6 days. Will be the 6 times 2 day blanket. No, seriously, if you want to make the blanket in 6 days, you have to make it a lot smaller than this. You can't make an adult size blanket and expect it to happen in 6 days. Or you can use chunky yarn, really super chunky yarn, and get it going that way. All right, so the yarn that I'm using is Lion Brand Respun. It's a recycled yarn. And it's, I'm feeling okay about it. I don't think this is going to become one of my favorite yarns, but it is definitely a worthwhile yarn to use, and the colors are really nice and saturated, and it's a great match for this blanket, for this pattern. I'm also using the Scented Stitches Aromatherapy Stitch Balm, and I have an affiliate link for that available in my bio. The scent that I chose is called Cheer, and it smells very rosy. And what you do with this is you put it on your finger where you tension the yarn, and it gives you, it aromatherapyizes your project, and it also just makes a really nice experience of crochet, an elevated crochet experience, as we say. So I will be, I'm on multiple social channels, crocheting live. Just feel free to come hang out with me. This is not a tutorial. I'm just going to be crocheting and talking to people. So if you can stand the sound of my voice and my coughing, for 2 or 3 hours. Just come hang out with me. All right. And so let me go ahead and flip my view on both. Hey, Colleen. Happy Sunday. Is today the Super Bowl? Are they playing football today? I don't think it is. I think it's next week. I don't care about football. And that I don't mean that as an insult to anyone. It's just not my cup of tea. No football today. Okay, let's see. Oh, I always forget to do this. Mirror the video, turn it off. And then, let's see. Let me get my view just right here. Oh, I don't want to do that. Okay. Oh. I figured out how to make this little label, so people won't say, what are you making? 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 But, okay, so it kind of looks like I can't zoom in on my own self now, so I'll never be doing that again. I'll just have to answer you. What are you making? 6-day Ridgy Didge, like I've been making for 1,000 years. Been working on it for 1,000 more. Super Bowl's on the 11th. I mean, I'm feeling better, but I'm not 100%. I have been exhausted. I have just been so tired. And last week I took antibiotics and steroids, and that helped, I guess. Honestly, I'm not really even sure that it helped because I'm not sure I got better any faster than I would have if I hadn't taken that stuff. And then as soon as I stopped taking it, I had like the rebound effect from the steroids with the cortisol, and that's been hard to deal with. I had like a I've been sleeping a lot, and I had a sleep paralysis one day, like in the middle of the day when I was taking a nap, and it was terrifying. Just terrifying. My daughter used to get them when she was I'm on row 3, by the way, and this is the halfway point right here of the blanket, right where I switched from the Fjord to the Cranberry. So this is stripe number 13, I believe, and there will be 23 stripes. Okay, so this is row 3, just saying. But yeah, my daughter apparently used to get sleep paralysis when she was younger, and I don't think I really knew it at the time. I think she really told me until she was a little older, and she would describe it to me, and it just sounded terrifying. And so I kind of had that experience like last week when I was napping, and I work for myself, so thank goodness I don't have to go anywhere, and I don't have to do I don't have to do anything I don't want to do. Like, clearly I want to keep my crochet business going, so I can't just slack off, and be sick for, weeks and weeks and expect my business to just be okay. But, I prioritize my health and my own, well-being above a lot, everything really. So thank goodness I'm able to just like stop and sleep if I am feeling run down. And I was sleeping in my chair in the living room so I could kind of sleep sitting up because I was coughing a lot, you know. And then I fell asleep in that chair and I could like, you know, it's facing like the front windows of my house so I can look out at the beach. And I kept like trying to, like, my eyes were open. I was like, okay, I'm at home. I'm in my chair. I'm looking out the windows at the beach. And then, but then I was like, I was also stuck in the dream and it was just weird. Just weird. I don't like that at all. So, anyways, that's how things have been going with me. I'm just in my own little world here. Last weekend, a week ago today, I went, I have a friend who lives in Norfolk, but she has a house down here on the Outer Banks that she rents out on Airbnb. So she was down here at her Airbnb with her 2 dogs, and I went to see her. And I think I posted, it was the friend that I did this superstar blankets for. I made her 2 superstar blankets, and I matched them to her wallpaper. So I have a bunch of video posted where I was working on those blankets if you're interested. Hi, Pat. Um, and so I went to see her last weekend and set her blankets up in her Airbnb for her. I think she's going to take one of them home. I don't know if you all remember that I restarted those blankets 2 or 3 times. I had it started and then I decided I didn't like the center of one of them because I um I didn't like the way I did the colors in the center of it. So I redid it and I changed colors after every single round. And then I got about 3/4 of the way through that blanket and I thought, I don't think she's going to like this because it's too much. And also, even though every single color matches a color of her wallpaper, some of the colors that I used were kind of obscure in the wallpaper. Like they only had a little, you know, like that rose pink. There was only a little tiny rose in that wallpaper that was like, you know, kind of hidden. So she was like, she took one look at it and she was like, well, this one doesn't really match in here. And I said, every single one of these colors matches your wallpaper, but it's the frequency with which I use the colors that I think makes it not work with your wallpaper. And she agreed, and she was kind of like, she didn't use these exact words, but she said something like, it's too busy next to the wallpaper, you know, because the wallpaper is very busy. And so the third blanket that I made for her was the one that I did a similar striping pattern to the original one I started for her, which was two rounds and then switching on the single crochet rounds. So that way I could just put those little bits of rose and sage green that were in her wallpaper but not prominent. I put those in the single crochet rounds so they would be, you know, not really as prominent. And I did more of the purples for her because she loves purple. So anyways, that one is the one that ended up in the living room with the wallpaper. And she kind of said the broader stripes she felt looked better with the really busy wallpaper. So anyways, Nifty Milanus says, hi Betty, just joining in. I love your blanket. Thank you. I'm working on a blanket right now too. Well, welcome. Hey Sabrina. Um, well, the my methodology for choosing colors for this blanket went kind of like this. I knew that I wanted to use the Respun yarn from Lion Brand, and I had seen it at the H&H conference last June. And so I knew I wanted to use it for something. I wanted to use recycled yarn. And so I went ahead and ordered 11 colors of the Respun. I think it comes in like 15 colors or 14 colors, something like that. I knew I didn't want black. I knew I didn't want white. You know, there were certain colors I knew I didn't want. So I just ordered the ones that I thought I would use. And then when they came in, I swatched them all up, and I ended up, some of them were like, there were two different yellows. Like, this is a yellow I went with. It's called Sahara, but there was a more mustard yellow. And then there were some like tans and browns that also were like close to that in color. And so I swatched some of them up together, and at the end of that process of swatching, I is my swatch nearby? I was just looking for that thing yesterday because I knew I had swatched. Oh, it's right here. This is the swatch. So these are some of the colors I rejected, like this, and this is the other yellow. And I was just kind of like, well, do I really want two yellows? So at the end of the process, I chose the colors that I felt excited about. Out of the 11. So I ended up with 6 colors. I know that there is like such a thing as color theory, and I personally feel like, I don't know, I have kind of a rebel spirit when it comes to choosing colors, because I feel like sometimes color combinations happen that you aren't planning, and they're more exciting than the ones that you could plan together with theory. Like, I believe everybody should understand theory and technique, but creativity is also about breaking the rules or making your own rules. So it's like, first you learn the rules, and then you learn how to break the rules. So yeah, my approach to color is a little bit more about how I feel than what I think. And sometimes I do it just to prove a point, because people are always saying things to me like, "Oh, Betty, you're so great with color," and I'm not. I'm not. I'm not great with color, and I just kind of throw things together, and that's what I want people to understand, is that I'm just throwing things together. I'm not planning some of this, and you don't have to follow rules. I put this is called Scented Stitches Stitch Balm. It's an aromatherapy balm. It makes the yarn smell nice. No, it's not a friction barrier. It is for although I have one person in my community who's using it who said that they're not getting that callus or that mark on their finger when they use it, but it's really for the aroma. Hey, Amy. How are you doing? Are you crocheting tonight? Just starting crochet? If you're just learning how to crochet, I would do the 6-day star blanket because it's very easy and it's trending right now, and you can make it with pretty much any yarn. They always look great. It's really fun to make. You only need to know how to chain, double crochet, single crochet in order to make it. You got to do a little bit of pattern reading, but I have videos that will help you. I'm making new videos too because the videos that everyone's watching and they're complaining about them a lot, they are outdated. And I've changed the patterns since those videos were made. So I started making new videos yesterday. And as I was making new videos, I started making some tweaks to the pattern that I think will make it easier to read and understand. But it already is super easy. Hey, Linda. Oh, I'm sorry you have COVID. Yeah, I don't know what I had. I don't think I had COVID, but I don't know what I had because I waited until too long to go to the doctor to get tested. And they said it was, it had been like 3 weeks, so nothing was going to show up anyways at this point. So by the time I made it down there, I had bronchitis from whatever I had caught, whether it was a cold or the flu or what is that, RSV, whatever that is. I didn't even know what that was. It's probably what I had because I was around kids. I haven't been crocheting a whole lot. I didn't go live all week, so I'm already into, first week of February working on this, and I said I wanted to get it done by the end of January. I thought that was way more than enough time, but I probably have at least 10 days of lives to work on this after today. It's okay. And I really don't know if I have it in me to keep doing entire projects from start to finish on live. I am starting to rethink that a little bit because it's a lot. I'd really like to do like a star blanket crochet along or something like that for something that's trending, but I don't have the energy to do both. I just do not have the energy to do more than what I'm doing. And this is, I can't release this pattern until I complete this blanket, so, and photograph it and everything. So it's because I'm doing it online, it's delaying the process because I've chosen to do the whole thing from start to finish. But it's okay. Once it's out there and it's posted and it's done, it's out there forever. So 3 years from now, somebody will be making the Ridgy Didge. and listening to me tell the story about how I had bronchitis and had sleep terrors or sleep paralysis. Well, thank you, Leslie Robin. I think it's coming along pretty nicely. Took me 25 minutes to do that one row. So I can tell how I'm feeling by how long it takes, because that was row 3. That should have been one of my the fastest row. So we'll see how I'm doing. It is pretty soft. I mean, it's a recycled yarn, so you would think it would feel plasticky, but it does not feel plasticky at all. It feels like your typical acrylic yarn. In hindsight, I think I really am using an I hook. I think I really could have used an H, because I keep splitting it. It's a little bit splitty, the yarn. Possibly if I were to use a streamline hook instead of a tapered hook, that might alleviate some of the splitting. Hey Pookie, thanks for following. Look, I've got the details of the pattern. I have a little sticker on my video, which I'll never do again, and I have a poll. You can click the poll. Oh, thank you. I'm happy with it. I have to figure out the next step will be to decide which color I'm going to use for the edge. That'll be one decision. And then what exactly I want the edge to look like. I used to use Edie Ekman's edge books, crochet edge books for my edges. And then I used so many edges out of her books, I kind of exhausted the options there. And now I try to do my own. Edie is such an amazing teacher and author. I've been following her for a while. I've taken classes from her live, and I just think the world of her. Yeah, I don't know. I have done I've done a 6-day, I've done a Ridgy Didge baby blanket. So a lot of the time when I do a baby blanket and then I do the full size blanket, I I give them the same or a similar border with a similar look. I notice with my patterns, people like a lot of the time don't use the borders that I put on them. So I don't know. I did this cool like twisted waves border for my beach house blanket. I recently published something called the 6-day beach house blanket. Maybe I'll do something like that that's twisted. But because the main feature of this blanket is the ridge, I feel like I need to do something with the ridge, something that kind of echoes the feature of the blanket. I don't know. I got to think about it. I've used camel stitch on a lot of my, some of my blankets because there was a viral photo that a lady posted of a camel stitch border that she put on a 6-day baby blanket. And when she posted the video, or the photo, she made it look like she was doing 4 rounds of the border at one time. She had all 4 loops of the border on her hook. And so people thought that that was some, kind of new technique, but it wasn't. It was just how she liked doing her borders. And she set it up, that way for a photo, for an Instagram photo. So that border gets a lot of attention. People ask me, how do you do the one that's all 4 rows at once? And yeah, so I put that on one of them so people could know. Jolene says, working on the 6-day HP. I had to think about that because I saw HP and I thought Harry Potter. It's too long. Well, what are you going to do with it if it's too long? I mean, you could do the sideways, like the original sideways pocket shawl where I folded up the sides. I don't remember what measurements I gave in the pattern, but 120 inches sounds really long. Did you swatch, girl? Julian is talking about a design project that we're working on in my membership community. If you like working on secret projects behind the scenes, you should join. Usually it's 6-day projects when somebody says, make a 6-day blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right, which isn't very often. I gave 60 inches and you made it 120? Girl, it's going to be dragging on the floor. What are you doing? Are you going to wrap it? You're going to wear it like a Ruana. Is there a border you could recommend for the star blanket for the color yarn I'm working on? I mean, you could try that Twisted Waves one from the Beach House blanket. You have the borders in the McKnitiverse. I think I made them so you only get like one a month, though. But yeah, 6-day hooded pocket shawl. I don't know how you're going to wear that when it's that long. You're going to have to wrap it around, and then what are you going to do with the pockets? I mean, you could fold it up to make the pockets, but I feel like it's still going to be too long. A pocket shawl, like I am 5 feet tall, so I usually recommend a pocket shawl be about as long as you are tall. Because if I'm 5 feet tall, my wingspan is 5 feet. So if my pocket shawl is 5 feet, my hands are going to fit right in my pockets. You know, like that's going to be just about right. So that's my recommendation, but I don't know how you ended up with yours so big. I don't, girl, that's stressing me out. What are you going to do? We need to have another meeting. Crochet by Chels says, I'm working on the snowflake version of this. Cool. We had a new, it's not really a new stripe, but we had somebody do a variation of the snowflake effect where they did on every other stripe, they did contrasting single crochet rows, and it is so pretty. They did it in like Christmas colors to match their mom's decor. And then another lady copied it almost exactly. And it's very pretty. It's a very pretty stripe. I know, even if you make it bigger than, you know, what it says and you don't get done in 6 days, it still works up really fast. She's going to have 17 pockets going down the side of her pocket shawl. Either that or she's like, I don't know, 10 feet tall. Let me see, what am I doing? I got one more row. See, this is the cool thing about this pattern. So she's talking about the snowflake effect. So the snowflake effect, you change colors between these two rows. And so then you get this kind of like snowflake effect. 2 meters long is around 6 feet. Oh, or if you're not part of my Facebook group, there's a whole Facebook group for the 6-day blanket project, the 6-day projects. Thousands of people making and posting their 6-day kid blankets of all different kinds of stripes and sizes and colors and versions. And of course we have the star blanket and the granny square, the 6-day granny square stuff, which I've only begun exploring the possibilities of. And then there's garments, 6-day garments. I have a hexagon cardigan, and I have these little shrugs, which I need to probably, I've been saying for a couple years now that I'm going to go back and revisit those shrugs, those little shrugs and hoods, and I want to make more sweaters. And I have a poncho, 6-day star blanket poncho that I'm working on testing. I mean, all the stuff. All the stuff. Hi, Facebook user. Yes, thank you. It's warm enough here. I made myself leave the house today, and I wore a jacket. Oh, well, thank you. I designed this blanket years ago, and I was never intending to be like a crochet designer on the internet. I just did it for fun, and I made this blanket for my first great nephew. I have my older sister, her first grandchild, and I just whipped it up, and it only took me 6 days to make it, and I just wrote it up, and I published it on this new thing called Ravelry. And I don't even really, at the time, I was like, why am I doing this? I don't know. What's the point of this? I'm not sure. And the darn thing went viral. People made that thing. And hey, Rhea, good to see you. So I just gave the pattern away for a long time, and then it went viral when I was kind of in a difficult spot. I had left my husband. I was not well. I had to stop working because of my health, and my pattern went viral. And people started saying like, oh, well, you should monetize that. Even if you had only charged $1 for it, you would have made money. And I was like, I didn't really think it was something that I could make money doing, but I did learn how to monetize it, and I got better at writing patterns. And then I started, like teaching people online how to make the pattern, because they were emailing me like crazy. I don't understand. I have too many stitches at the end, and blah blah blah. So I started this Facebook group, and I started going live online and answering people's questions and teaching them how to make the blanket. And then people started saying, is there a version of this that goes around in a circle? Is there a circular version of this? Is there a square version? Is there? And I was like, I would roll my eyes and be like, oh my God, that is so dumb. And then I spent about a year figuring out, because I used to say, well, if it, I would never make a square, because if you did a square, it wouldn't chevron. I would only do it if I could make it chevron. So I figured out how to make it go around from the inside out and chevron, and then I called that the 6-day star blanket. And then that went viral. And then I don't know, about 2 years ago, it was when the star blanket went viral on TikTok, and I wasn't on TikTok. So I was like, Now I have to be on TikTok. So I came over here to TikTok and I started posting content over here and going live over here and having crochet alongs with people over here and getting to know the audience on TikTok. And oh, you were helping me a while back and then just gave up. But I will try to get back to it again when I finish. Okay. No worries. It was always good to come back with a fresh set of eyes, and don't be afraid to post a photo, okay, in the group. Don't rip it out. Post a photo and ask your question, okay? Make sure you let us know which pattern you're using, which row you're on. You don't have to post any screenshots of the pattern or tell us what the pattern. We know what the pattern says. We need to know what you think it says so we can help you understand what it actually says, okay? And we'll get you back on your blanket. Don't even worry about it. You finish your cal and we'll be here. We're not going anywhere. Anyways, that's my I started talking about the granny square. Okay. So I was on TikTok and I'm seeing everybody's making their hexagon cardigans, and I'm like, my friend Chelsea Goth Fairies Creations was like, everyone's making hexagon cardigans. And I was like, well, we could do that with the 6-day blanket. And then I made the granny square basically so that I can make a hexagon cardigan out of it. And so now there's also a 6-day granny square. And that was something I said I would never do. I'm like, I'm never doing that. But I did it, and it was very popular. As someone who struggles a lot, I think crocheting is a nice outlet to just kind of cope with things. I often use it as a way to just keep my hands busy, and it helps. That's right, Bean. Crochet is a wonderful hobby. It's really great for your mental health. Doing things with our hands is known to release like feel-good chemicals. It makes us feel like we're being productive, and I do teach like somatic skills to help people like get more mental health support and enjoyment out of their crochet projects. One thing is, remember to breathe when you're working. So that's why sometimes you'll hear me take like a big sigh. I am the person that does the group joins. So I'll just take a break and do it right now. Get you in there. The group has been very active. Are you Chelsea Vervique? Yeah, the live TikTok live. Okay. There you go. Just go ahead and do the rest of these while I'm at it. There's only 10 of them. I don't know why it's, there we go. Something's touching it. I believe I was previously in this group. Uh-oh. Well, you're going to have to wait. Okay. All right, there you go. Oh, goodness. I hope you can practice crocheting with your eyes closed, crocheting without looking, and learn to crochet without needing your eyesight so you can keep doing it. How long have I been crocheting, or how long have I been working on this project? This is the 17th video that I've made for this blanket, but if I remember correctly, I started and stopped several times in the beginning of it because I was having problems with my camera. But this is what did I say at the beginning? The 11th day since I started the blanket. And I usually work on it when I'm on here for about 2 to 2.5 hours at a time. That's about all I can handle sitting in this chair at this table because it hurts my body. Well, thank you very much. You know, crochet can really damage your body if you spend too much time sitting in one place. You don't stretch, you don't take breaks, you don't drink your water, you don't get up and pee. All those things. So I think one thing I need to invest in this year is hey Chibi-wee, is more ergonomic setup here for my office. Because I do feel like I'm in pain a lot when I'm sitting here. So I can only stay here for just so long, you know. That's another reason why my YouTube channel is not that great, because I don't like I mean, I would prefer to sit on live video and talk to people while I'm filming content, but I really don't like just sitting at a computer and editing and talking to myself in the screen and all that stuff that's required to be a good YouTuber. But I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. I have the ergonomic elbow pads that have the stuff. My chair is not the greatest. The chair needs replaced, and also it's just it's the setup with the camera too, and where the camera is situated. I think I need something that will hold my camera that is that I can move it around a little bit more, because the camera's pretty stationary, so I have to move myself to the camera, and that's no good. That's no good. That's part of it, because like if I really wanted to pull my chair in and get a little closer and get a little bit more support, or pull, like I can't move. I'm just kind of stuck here in one position once I get here, because my camera's not my camera is so stationary. Well, I'm not using a phone. I am using I'm using like a DSLR setup with software where I stream to multiple things at once. My phone, I mean, what you're seeing on TikTok is from my phone, and the colors are not accurate. I can't zoom in and out. I can't get up close. I can't really show. You can't do good tutorials with a phone, I don't think. Well, thank you for saying so, Bean. Thank you. I mean, I've been doing this for a while. I have, like I have equipment. I've invested in good equipment for this, but um, there's always room for improvement. Well, I'm not recording with my phone. I'm recording with a very heavy DSLR camera. And I used to have it on mobile, um, like this lamp stand thing. And every time I touched the table, the whole thing would shake. So there's that. But I definitely need to make some improvements for my comfort, for my body. Okay, the Heliotrope is next. And this is the Ridgy Didge row. So for this stripe, we change colors between rows 5 and 6. And we're replacing the double crochet stitches with front post double crochet. Thank you, Andrew. One thing about buying new furniture, buying a like an ergonomic chair and bringing it in here and setting it up, and then what if I don't like it? And what if it's not right? And what if it doesn't work? And then what do I have to do with it? I got to put it all back and take it back, and it's kind of a pain. I probably need to go somewhere where they have these chairs and like try them out and sit in them. Actually do feel like my chair needs to be pulled in a little bit more. Yeah, I'm glad we caught you. Let me just go ahead and stand up and do my thing since I'm talking about it. I'm just really not feeling comfortable, and that's not okay. Well, thank you. Pat, I did yoga yesterday. I signed up for a class today, but I didn't end up going. I told myself I would go at a later time, but you know, if I don't do it right when I wake up, then forget it. I like yellow too. But I can definitely feel that yoga in my feet and legs today, especially that awkward posture and toe stand posture. I forget their names. My body remembers every single one. Not that I can do them all, but my body definitely remembers the routine. I was a diehard Bikram yoga enthusiast for years. But I didn't go today. I have a monthly unlimited pass for live streams with Bikram Yoga San Jose. They came up on my Mind Body, and I think it's only $45 a month. And I just get my little heater out and put my mat down, and I airplay the class from my computer to my big TV, and I watch all the people. I stand in the back of the room and watch all the people trying to do their yoga. I miss being in a studio, but I know there's no way I could handle being in the hot room, and I can't even do a lot of the postures. I can't stand up on my knees at all. Hi, thanks for following. I'm glad your hip feels better. That's I used to tell people all the time when I did it that it is great for pain relief. Bikram yoga is wonderful for pain relief. I'm doing okay. How are you? Thanks for sharing the live. Oh, blanket yarn. Ugh. Hey, Maggie. Oh, burnout blanket. Ugh. You ever heard that saying, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all? Oh, I mean, I think that yarn has its place, but it's not 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 anything uh how may its place is nothing that I am that I do. Like I think people use it to make plushies, and I don't make those. I'm not interested in that. I do want to try out this pattern. I can do the front post double crochet with no problem, but I have trouble trying to do the front post single crochet. I have trouble seeing it. So I'm not sure you don't have to do front post. You can do one of the other variations that doesn't have front post in it. You could just do the regular 6-day blanket. It doesn't have front post at all. You're scared to wash it. Do you have osteoarthritis? No, I do not. I mean, well, I do have arthritis. Because I was a dancer for most of my life. And all dancers have arthritis. I don't know what the difference between osteo. If that's just the regular kind of arthritis that old people get, then yes, I have that. I have arthritis in my spine. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia a few years ago too, but I then went to a lipedema specialist, and she said, you probably don't have that. You probably are in pain because you have lipedema. And I think that's probably true, but a lot of the symptoms kind of overlap one another. Arthritis in my spine, yeah. I'm just used to some of this stuff now. Like, I'm just used to it. It's just like, it is what it is. Well, I was diagnosed with it back before they knew what lipedema was. And or before I had heard of lipedema or knew what it was. But I think, to be honest, my symptoms and what happened to me are more consistent with a lipedema diagnosis because it happened all of a sudden. And I gained a bunch of weight, and it happened like pretty much overnight. And that's what happens with lipedema when you like when you cross over from, you know, stage 1 or 2 into like stage, you know, 2 or 3. Working on finding ways to sit comfortably while crocheting. I have some items in my Amazon store, the pillows and the gel pads, like what I use. I use these on the table because there's no way I can put my arm or my elbow on here for any length of time and like expect to be okay after crocheting for 2 hours like that. My hands would be completely numb. So those are some products that I have in my Amazon store. Let me put that down. Some other things I use are this lymphatic massage oil. I like this oil because it doesn't like it like you can see it's like already absorbed right in. It does not leave you feeling super greasy. And then I have these face blasters that I use. I was trying to put these up in my store, but it didn't work out. So you have to go to my Amazon store. I'm trying to get an affiliate. I'm trying to get approved as an affiliate for Ashley Black so I can sell these as an affiliate, but so far, to my knowledge, they have not accepted me, probably because I'm not like a sports fitness person and I'm fat. Oh, it feels good. This is what I use on my hands. And then, thank you. And then at night, I have one of those infrared pain relief. Like, it's like a heating pad, but it doesn't heat up that much. But it's full of infrared lights. And you can also get the one that you put your hands in. I haven't gotten that one yet. But they do have one that you just like put your hands in. But the one that I have is like it's flat, and I just like roll it up in a tube and I put my arm in it. And I do that for like 20 minutes at night when I go to bed or when I'm just sitting watching TV, taking a break or taking a nap. Oh, I got oil all over my screen. That's nice. It felt great. Definitely take breaks and stretch and massage and take care of your hands if you crochet a lot and if you have arthritis in your hands. I don't use compression mittens because I have lipedema, which is a lymphatic disorder, and if I were to do compression on my hands, I would need it to go all the way to this knuckle, first of all, because you can see I have fluid down here. And your lymphatics go up, okay? It drains up the arm and it goes up into your armpits and up into your the ducts where it drains are up here in your neck. Okay, so it has to go up, and then from there it goes into the circulatory system and gets circulated around, and any fluid gets removed by your kidneys. But it has to go up. So if I were to wear a compression glove, then I would start to have fluid that would come down and get stuck and build up behind that glove. Because I have lipedema and there's a lymphatic component to it. So if you have healthy lymphatics and you want to wear compression gloves, go right ahead. But I don't wear them for that reason. And also, another reason why I don't wear them or recommend them is because I think people wear them when they're in pain, when they encourage people to continue to crochet with pain, and I don't think that's something that you should do. I think that if you're in pain, you should take a break and do your self-care and come back when the pain has subsided. Do the self-care and the healing, sit in the infrared, mitts, and come back when you're feeling better. So I mostly, like, my self-care routine is like mostly focused on like more preventative and self-care rather than injury recovery. Once you're injured, it's an uphill battle. So I'm just taking a break while my streaming software does whatever it needs to do to bring my camera back online, my overhead. Danny says, I played viola in high school. I crochet, and I'm a traditional digital artist and was in color guard. You have to take care of your hand. Yes, you do. Black seed oil with vitamin D and K2. I'm not taking any vitamin D right now. I feel like I probably need that. And I have heard about black seed oil. That's been coming up on my feeds and stuff lately as something that's good to take. But I don't know why. I don't know why this does this. I'm trying to work on my self-care routine, trying to find what works for me. Absolutely. It's so important. I started to really get into it, and I want to write a book this year about crochet as a healing art and somatic practices for crocheters. It's been helping me like crazy. Even my knees are better. Wow. But I started to get really interested in it when I started coming on TikTok and seeing all these people who are, I think on TikTok I see a lot of, it's like, I've been crocheting for 4 hours. Do you want me to do a tutorial? Like, that is a real thing I heard somebody say on TikTok. 4 hours. I've been crocheting for 4 hours. Would you like me to do a tutorial? So there's like a wonderful thing that we have where it's like anybody can teach anybody anything here, and we can all learn from each other, and it's wonderful. But there's also it's also a platform for misinformation as well. So I started seeing people say things about this is how you take care of your wrists if you have wrist problems as a crocheter. And it was stuff I was like, that's not how you take care of your wrist. That's how you heal from wrist injury after you've been injured. So that's not preventative. This person's already been injured, and they're just passing along what their physical therapist has shared with them about how to take care of themselves after their injury. So those are very different things. So yeah, I do take I do take breaks. Right now, I'm taking a break because, and maybe I should put this here so people know. I'm taking a break because my YouTube, my overhead, the streaming software that I use to go on YouTube, it is cranky. And when my battery dies in my overhead camera after about an hour or so, I have to change the battery in that camera. And when it goes off, my streaming software like doesn't bring the camera back online sometimes for I don't know the reason. And I've been trying to figure it out, but I don't know, it just gets mad at me. I don't really know. I don't know what's wrong with it. So I have to just sometimes I have to just wait and I let it cool off for a minute or two and plug it, unplug it, and eventually it will come back. But right now it's not coming back. So yes, I do take a lot of breaks. I don't feel like I take enough breaks. I feel like I should take, you know what? You know what, YouTube? I'm going to just close this and I will come back. I'm sorry. This is why there's 17 videos of this and there should only be like 10. All right, I'm just going to finish and I'll be right back.